Let's talk about whether dating is a big waste of time for you. Because so many of my clients will reach out on the day of a scheduled date and say, oh, I don't want to go even. This is just such a waste of time. And I've got to coach them through that, obviously. I think we should begin by you asking yourself, or me asking you, are you happy being alone? Do you enjoy your own company and not crave having a partner there or somebody to do things with you? If you truly enjoy the solitude of the life you've created in your own home and choosing when and if to join other people for social interaction and enjoy a life that you've created around friends and family and the interests that you prioritize and make time for. If that's the case, don't go on a date. You sound perfectly happy as a solo single person. Why torture yourself with a date? But if that doesn't appeal to you as I've described it, then perhaps we should talk about the reasons you should shove your tush out the door. And that's my intention today. I have, 3 maybe thoughts on the matter that I wanted to share with you, see if you agree, maybe inspire you to not give up on dating and make yourself go and figure out that dating is worthwhile, not a waste of time. Let's see. That's what's on the agenda. If you're new here, I'm Carey. I'm a matchmaker, a dating coach, and I have this channel. It's all conversations about dating and relating. And often when my clients are just not able to drag their attitudes out the door, to pick themselves up, get themselves looking good, get into the mental headspace required to be a great date, which is being curious and truly interested and being ready with some great stories. I have no idea where I was headed with that, what I wanted to say. I don't know, it's a little late here in Chicagoland. If you can't get yourself into the mental headspace to find that desirable, don't go. But if you can pull that off, then get yourself out there and connect with somebody new. And what I wanted to share with you here is what I eventually end up having to share is that you better get it together, because one date is not going to do it. You're going to need 3 or 4 dates with this person to figure out if they're your person. And I'll tell you what is a big waste of time. And that is these one and done dates where you say there was no chemistry, or you didn't really think they had big enough energy, meaning they were a little shy or reserved, nerves maybe, or they just didn't seem so upbeat, maybe a bad day. Lots of reasons you could misconstrue who this person is. But if you're really interested and you ask questions, a lot of that may even come up and be explained throughout the date. I think if people can't go on a date and truly enjoy the experience for what it is, just getting to know somebody and enjoying their company and having a human connection for an hour or two, then there's bigger problems than being single and not connecting with people. I always share the story of that great conversation I had with that man I met at LAX waiting for our flights. His friend offered me his seat. They were all taken. I ended up sitting next to him, and we had a lovely chat for about an hour about the differences in education between Mexico, which is where he lived, and the United States, where I live. We talked about his teenage daughter and raising teenagers, because I was leaving my son in LA to head back to Chicago. So we talked about raising kids. We talked about his job. I learned so much from somebody whose life was not the same as mine, walked away truly having benefited from that interaction as a human being and making a connection with somebody, because I think he also enjoyed my company. That's sitting in LAX with somebody I knew I was never going to see again. You should be able to do that with somebody who seems, by all appearances, to perhaps be a match for you romantically. And I tell you this, that not knowing at the end of a first date whether this is a person for you, whether you have the same views on this or that, or whether your values are aligned, your interests overlap, you have the same outlook on life, and whether or not there's some type of a physical attraction or a chemistry or a spark between you, knowing that on a first date is not often likely. Most couples, I promise you, don't figure that out until subsequent dates. So walking away, not having a second date, that's a waste of time. You've just used up an hour or 2 hours of your life for something that you're not giving a chance to. You're not giving yourself or this other person an opportunity to figure out whether you're truly compatible. And that's a waste of time. It's gonna take you 2, 3, 4 dates to know for sure whether this person could be a person you could spend the rest of your life with. So don't waste your time on one and done dates. Do waste your time on multiple dates. That's not what I meant to say. Please allow me to interrupt myself briefly and you and ask you for a big favor. If you could please just take a moment and hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the episode at all. I'd really, really appreciate it. It helps me out quite a bit. Thank you. Back to my regularly scheduled program. I promise you that I will not, again, share the story about my 5 married clients who did not want to go on a second date. They were done after one, and I had to dig my heels in and insist nicely, as someone who had their best interest at heart, that they go and learn more and see this person in other circumstances. As I said, married again. Not going to tell the whole story. I think I maybe did. But I can assure you that many coupled people, married couples, had very humble beginnings as far as first dates. So many people that I ask, often I will ask people because I'm curious as a coach about how they met their partner. Very, very mediocre first dates. You would be very surprised, I think, at how many people thought the date was not good, not bad. Meh would be a good description. And then finally, I don't know, a waste of time. What else were you going to be doing? If your calendar is so booked up that taking away a couple hours to meet somebody who could possibly be a love of your life seems a little crazy to me. I think in that situation, you may want to take a night off when you don't have a date, reassess your calendar, perhaps re-examine your priorities, and figure out whether this partnering thing really is something that you're going to be putting effort and time into. Because there's lots of excuses that we can make for a lot of these scenarios to not go, to not meet somebody new, to just, I'll do it tomorrow, to procrastinate, and to think that maybe it's just a waste of time because it has been in the past. But I'll leave you with this. It only takes one. I hope you found that interesting, fun, or helpful. If you did, please give the episode a thumbs up like my mom is suggesting right there. And I hope that you'll subscribe. As I mentioned, hit that ring bell so you're notified every time a new episode goes live. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. And until next time, have a good one.